So there's a lot of great information out there looking at sprinting from a lateral viewpoint, which tells us a lot about an athlete's posture, which is really valuable. But there's not a lot of information out there looking at sprinting from a posterior or anterior viewpoint, which I think is really valuable, especially in the rehab setting. So real quickly, just want to point out some things that I'll look at when I'm working with an athlete during performance or return to play. So from a posterior standpoint, I'll always start at the ground up. So the first thing I'm looking at is, okay, where does this foot touch down in relation to center of mass? Right? Earlier in an acceleration, it should be a little bit wider. And then as we get deeper and deeper into the run, we'll start to see it narrow up a little bit, right? And ideally, we want to see that foot land under the hip, okay? We want to stay off the tight line. If I were to draw a line right down the middle of the athlete, they should be staying off of it. But as they get deeper, we'll get closer and closer to it. The next thing I want to look at is where does this foot land in terms of angle of the foot at touchdown and at toe off, right? So it's very normal to see the foot externally rotate a little bit. We just don't want it to be necessarily too much. And in terms of like things that I'm looking for here, generally I want to see, okay, the heel is going to be pointed to, this left leg here, 1 p.m. And then if we go to the right foot, about 11 a.m. right there, right? And we just want to see, is there any difference between the left and the right side? And is it too much one way or the other? And then next, is that foot collapsing? And if so, how fast and where at? Right? Next thing we'll look at is I want to see this swing leg hip here. So this right hip, does it elevate above the left hip, right? And then the same thing here. As the left leg swings up and through, do we see that left hip elevate above that right hip? And we do, which is great. Next thing we're looking at is, does that hip drop at touchdown or toe off? And if so, is it happening at the hip, the knee, or the ankle? Right? And generally, it's going to be at the knee or the ankle. Next, I want to see, okay, does the T-spine flex towards that leg at toe off? Meaning, does the T-spine, flex laterally towards that right swing leg there? And then at touchdown, same thing, right? So we should see almost see this like serpentine pattern kind of coming through. And then the last thing we'll look at is just arm axis, right? Are we seeing reciprocal arm action, right? So as that, let's see, left leg extends, does the right arm extend? And vice versa? And then are we seeing symmetry from each side?